techno guy. Being super safe. I refuse to go to sleep. I hate going to sleep. Today's a new set, DMR-08, and so we're here buying some new cards. I don't know much about the set, but I do know this. I've got some cards here. I'm with some opponents. So there you go. So a lot more support for colorless cards. Nice. Opponent here is showing me this card here. So he ripped up a bunch of stuff. Show me the Victory Rare. Victory Rare? So this dude just opened this. The set came out today and he ripped the Victory Rare, so that was pretty cool. So that's our first set. We're going to play because this is taking forever. But there you go. So more stuff later on.
Okay.
Alright, so we're back here at the home studio. A couple of unique things about this set. First, and this is actually going to be the conclusion of episode 2. And in the latest CoroCoro comics, you can actually see a preview of episode 3. I leafed through it at the bookstore, but I didn't feel like, clunking down the 400 something yen to buy it. If it comes with a special insert, it'll usually be tied down, as we saw in the earlier video. And that was the case for this CoroCoro. It comes with like a poster and also with other stuff. So there's like a special Pokemon promo that's coming out, because I know the next generation of Pokemon is coming out. So they did like this bundle with a bunch of different stuff inside it. Only one part of it was Duel Masters. And so I didn't want to, pay all that money for all that stuff. I would just want the Duel Master stuff. But you can open the magazine just wide enough to sort of leaf through what's on the inside. And so you can see that there's like a 08 spoiler. It's like a little pamphlet, but also a poster of some sort. I think it was a poster that has a picture of, I think they're changing some key character or something. I don't know, I might be misconstruing it or misremembering it, but it looked like some sort of like a cyber, dude. Maybe they're taking Kata here to a different sort of time, The other interesting thing about this set is I want to say it's the first time Kaijudo and Duel Masters have released something on the same exact, in quotes, date, because this is all set launches on a Saturday. Kaijudo's new set comes out on a Friday, so because of the time difference, our Saturday is the US's Friday, so for a short, brief, 14 hours, we'll be actually on the same official temporal launch moment. So that's pretty neat. The other thing, I've opened a couple packs. Again, I apologize for the briefness of the earlier openings. It was a bit chaotic, so we couldn't really pause to go over each card, but I'll try to make up for it with these 2 packs here. I bought some more packs just so I could do this for you people, so hope you enjoy. Just going through cards, how I sort of piece together patterns. One thing I noticed was, first of all, it looks like there's a cycle of these. So like this card, it's a 2-cost red spell, gives you guys speed attacker. And like the other spell that we saw earlier, instead of going to your graveyard, this guy will go back to your hand. Now check this out. This is what I thought was interesting. As I was going through the cards, I was like, it seems like there's something missing. Usually Duel Masters cards are sort of like packed with text. But check this out. 4-cost Guardian, so it's looking like there's a lot of Guardians in this set. Shield, trigger, blocker. Now you'll notice there's something missing, right? Duel Masters, and to their credit, I thought this was like entirely intentional. Now you'll notice there's a distinct lack of reminder text, even on commons. Hitherto, there's always been just always reminder text, and I thought that was because this game was supposed to be absolutely to the maximum amount. This game was supposed to be able to be played right out of the box, quote unquote, for absolutely minimal need of any sort of rule book. So like all the cards, for the most part, unless it's in the case of like really, really rare cards with tons of abilities, you'll see that there's not enough space for reminder text, so it's excusable. Because even in Magic, they'll cut stuff back, because the expectation is if you see this card, first of all, you're not going to see it very often, so it's okay if there are effects used in multiple cards. It's expected that you would have seen them in other places, so it's spelled out there rather than the extremely rare card that has a premium on text box space. But check this out. This is a common, and they're not telling you what shield trigger is. They're not telling you what blocker is. It just tells you right here, this creature can't attack the opposing player. But it's letting you dangle on what these effects do. So even in Magic, they have this New World Order mandate, which means at the common level, stuff has to be spelled out, and stuff has to be simple. So here's an older card. It always spells out what shield trigger is with the reminder text here. This is an old card from, DMR-02. But it looks like even in Duel Masters, ironically, they're the game that's easing up on the simplified nature of the cards. So it looks like from this set on, there's going to be less reminder text on super common things, like everybody knows what shield trigger is, and if you don't, tough luck. Everybody knows what blocker is. If you don't, tough luck. The other thing I noticed, check this out. Isn't this cool? I got a very rare. It's a Tri-Stone. The new race that debuted in the previous set, Tri-Stones, and I think they're like the new set villains. But I don't think they're here to stay, because you'll notice that these guys are all like plugged into Zeniths, and then they've sort of awoken. So it's like the Hedrons that were sort of in league with the super giant dudes from Magic the Gathering. The Duel Masters version are the Zeniths, of course. So these guys are sort of embedded in them, but now they're sort of like popped out of those, and so now they're walking around independently like those Hedrons from Magic the Gathering, Worldwag and Zendikar. Anyways, this guy's a double breaker. The other thing that I noticed though was this actually. We saw with the previous one, it's sort of like an inverse of Magic's New World Order. This is now a play on what they're doing in Kaijudo, which is something I noticed when I was looking at Kaijudo cards. They've sort of treated common combat abilities, like Double Breaker here, as in Magic, flying. So those are common or combat-related abilities. With super old cards, in Duel Masters, breaker abilities would always go at the end. And I noticed in Kaijudo, it's always like the first ability, unless there's something that, and now, we're using that technology here in Duel Masters. Double Breaker goes at the top. The other thing I noticed is I think they've changed since the White Zenith pack. Since then, I've noticed the card feels a little different. I think they've changed the paper stock or something, but so this guy is when one of your colorless creatures leaves the battle zone, you can get a colorless creature from your mana zone and put it in the battle zone if it has the same cost. Here's another little pattern that I noticed. You've noticed a bunch of the Aqua cards have had like teacher themes, like academic themes. So here's the PTA. PTA is a very popular thing. I know from my experience in the US, the PTA was not a terribly important part of school life, but it's quite important in the Japanese school system. Anyway, so we got 5 cost, Aqua PTA, Liquid People, and you can see in the art, just like that Wild Veggies, it's sort of a culmination of all these things that have been coming before it. This is like the culmination of the school-themed cards. When this creature attacks, play Gachinko Judge until you lose, and then draw a card for each time you won. So that's pretty neat. He's a rare, 5 cost. And then check this out. This is some incredible art. Another giant, as you can see, is eating, because all giants eat. He has Guardman. When your opponent's creatures attack, this guy must be attacked. So now in this case, Double Breaker goes at the end, so maybe my theory is Damedes. Oh, look, he's an unknown. I didn't notice this. He's a giant unknown, so cool. He gets all the perks of being unknown. And you'll notice, so in this set, like I mentioned earlier, the Tri-Stones, which are normally embedded into these things, you'll see the traditional 0 creatures have like those multicolored things embedded in them. And so that's what the Tri-Stones are. That gives them those sort of rainbowy colors. And so you'll see now we're getting unknown, and I think this started in White Zenith pack. We're seeing unknowns that are separated from those Tri-Stones. So this is a giant unknown, and there's, can you see that the sort of neon-y streaming colors here? So that means he's an unknown, but he doesn't have those rainbowy things or that sort of rainbowy halo thing, because that is the Tri-Stones signature thing. So you can see here, you see the sort of rainbowy colors here? It's hard to see with foil, but take my word. So that was that pack. Let's actually open a pack, and
I'ma buy you a drink. I got money in the bank.
This pack got jacked up, dude, because it's like sort of, you can see the foil sort of peeking through the black of the border here.